What's up guys, welcome to the channel. My name's Taylor. We're gonna jump right into this today because I have two amplifiers here that I wanna get through. So, enough with the small talk. Let's just get into it, right? The first thing we have here, this is a Gear for Music GA100H. It is a solid state 100 watt head. We do have a decibel meter up here. You can see that up in the corner to sort of give you a gauge, but we will take both of these amplifiers into my practice space later and hear them with an actual drummer just so that we can have some sort of context. Because I imagine a lot of people that are interested in these amplifiers are probably like beginners. You might wanna jam with your friends and you wanna see if the amp can hang with your friend's drum set or whatever, so we'll do that. Now there's something I need to tell you before we start diving into these amplifiers. They're from Gear for Music over in the UK, so they are running at 220 or 210, whatever the UK voltage is of there. I'm using a step up transformer because I'm in the United States. If you guys didn't know that, I'm in the United States. So if you wanted to use these in the United States at our lower voltage rate, you need a step up transformer. I'll put one on the screen. I bought it from Amazon, it was like 30 bucks or something, just FYI. Let's just read the specs too, yeah? This is the Gear for Music GA100H guitar amp head. It's a 2-channel head with a built-in input boost. It has dedicated EQs for each channel, and like I mentioned, 100 watt output. We will test that not only in this room that I'm sitting in right now, but later on with an actual drummer. It comes with built-in reverb, an effects loop. We also have a 3.5 millimeter audio input on the front of this if you wanted to plug in like, a Walkman? A Walkman? What the fuck am I talking about? If you want to plug in an MP3 player or more likely your phone, whatever. And it also has a 3.5 millimeter headphone output out of the front of this thing. Now, the craziest part of this amplifier is the fact that right now it's $170.75. It's pretty cheap. Let me just give you an idea here. We're on the drive channel. I think they call it drive, yeah. We're on the drive channel right now. Now there is sort of a transistor type distortion to this, like some of you might be opposed to that, some of you might love it. If you're a Pantera fan or a 90s death metal fan, then you might like transistor type distortion. But it is a solid state amp, and instead of a mid control, we do have a contour knob, which is sort of similar to maybe something like the valve state. You guys remember the Marshall valve states? Cut the mids or accentuate them. So here's the mids accentuated. It's more of, a Marshall-y type sound. I mean, you get the idea, right? We can go full on chugga cut mids. This contour knob is really extreme. I like it somewhere in about there, and like you can tell, this bass knob is almost all the way down. There is a tremendous amount of low end from this amplifier. Let me just turn it at noon. It's a lot. I'm looking over here to make sure I'm not clipping. And this is coming from someone who likes a big booty on an amp. Speaking of settings, look how low I have the volume. If we go up, it just gets very loud very quickly. I mean, as it is right there, it's very loud. I don't want to sit next to this thing for an extended period of time without ear protection in. Doing it for this video, but let's see how this takes a boost though. This is the Devil by my company, Obsidian Audio. You guys have probably seen this pedal before already. We need to tame this low end. Let's turn the gain down here a little bit. Now, of course, you could use a preamp pedal with this, and at $170, I think that that's not a bad value, for a power amp. Let's just, for funsies real quick here before we try that, let's go to the clean channel. It's a clean channel. You can hear the clean channel is just super duper clean. But let's try running a preamp pedal into this real quick, because I think that would probably be my preferred application for this type of amplifier, especially at its price. So Let me see what I have here that we can plug in that's a preamp pedal. There you go. This is the 𝐓𝐄𝐄𝐄 from my homie Shay over at This Heavy Earth Effects. This is a JCM 800 style preamp in a pedal format. Like I said, at the price point that this thing is at, I think it's a really great option if you're looking for a power amp. You know what I mean? Like a power amp platform. Like, can you call it a pedal platform? A pedal platform. I think it's a really great option if you want to power a 4x12 and you need like a pedal platform amplifier, you know, with a built-in effects loop, so you can just, you know, go straight in. You could use preamp pedals with it, whatever. Let's move on here. This is an amplifier that they're actually discontinuing, but they still have stock right now. So, you know, if you're interested in this, you can buy it for the time being. I don't know when you're watching this video, but you buy it for the time being. This is their in-house brand, SubZero. This is the Saturn 50-watt amplifier. Let's jump over to that. This one is loud also. And let's just read the specs. This is the SubZero Saturn 50 VR 2-channel tube head. It comes with a built-in spring reverb, an effects loop that has 2 channels, each with independent EQ controls. We also have a bright switch for the clean channel and low and high inputs as well. Now again, like with the other amplifier, this is a pretty stripped down amplifier. But at the time making this video, this amplifier is $309.50 US. That's where I am. And again, like I mentioned before, I am using a step-up transformer because this is in UK voltage and I'm in the US. You get it. Let's jump over to the clean channel real quick just so I can show it to you that it exists. It has one. And again, just a super pristine clean channel that is very loud. So the clean channel doesn't have its own volume control. You just have the master volume. It's just like this crazy, chimey, clean channel. You know, if you like that sort of thing, it's there for you. And we do have the bright switch here as well. Yeah, so that's off. Just a very, very sparkly clean channel. But you know what we're doing here? We're going chugga chugga, right? You know, they're both very loud. Like, I don't know if you're looking at this meter up here. What I noticed with this amplifier is the master volume. It jumps pretty quickly from like, you know, not crazy loud to loud, because look where I am right now. And I've noticed this with other 50-watt amplifiers as well. That's just an anecdote that doesn't really mean anything, but I'm saying it. You know, it's like halfway down. I can play in the room with this all day long. And then once we get over halfway, it starts to get real loud real quick. The volume jump there in between 1 and 2 o'clock is massive. It's I don't know if I clipped. I gotta keep checking to see if I'm clipping over there because of how loud it's getting. But it's a massive volume jump. I'm really interested to see how it sounds with my band, with an actual drummer, because I think that'll tell me a lot about it. Because what I've noticed with other 50, I have like one specific 50-watt amplifier in mind, and if you watch the channel, you probably know which one I'm thinking about. But what I've noticed with another 50-watt amplifier that I use is when it gets into that range, it's like way squishy. It's not like articulate anymore and it loses a lot. This doesn't sound like that. Like this just sounds much louder. You know, it doesn't sound like it's getting squishy and like farting out at all. It's brutal, man. It's a brutal amplifier. All right, let's go test these things out at my band practice, and that way I can form a more cohesive opinion on them, and I'll share that here with you at the end of the video. Okay. Hoping is just to get some idea of what these amps sound like at louder volumes. I can tell you from using them in my little studio room that I think they're loud enough. It's not so much about them being loud, it's about what happens to them at louder volumes. Like, do they get squishy and unplayable, or, you know, do they work fine? We'll find out. Oh, hi guys. I have to punch in this part in the video because when I was talking about this in the band rehearsal space, the guys were being too loud in the background, so you can't hear anything I'm saying. So let me talk about the amps and my observations there real quick. We'll start in the order they were in the video. This is the SubZero 50-watt amplifier. And if you look at the settings here, I haven't touched anything since I brought this home. You'll find that with a lot of 50-watt tube amplifiers, you do have to bump your treble and presence if the amp has it. This one doesn't, but if your amp does have a presence, you'll probably have to bump those up because the louder these things get, the more they tend to accumulate bass and low mids. And so to combat that, you need to turn the treble up. But in this case, you can see I have the bass pretty high. This amp doesn't really have that much of a problem in that area. Here's where I was rocking the gain. I was in the high input, and then we have the distortion level here. It's about 1 o'clock, and then the master volume here, maybe 2 o'clock, something like that. And it was definitely loud enough and cutting through the drums. And I would say between these two amplifiers, this probably isn't shocking, but between these two amplifiers, this one sounded more, you could hear more of the articulation, the notes and stuff like that. It wasn't breaking up at those louder volumes. With that being said, let's jump over to the GA100H. You can see where I have everything set here. Okay, I had no reverb on, surprise. This is where I had the volume set. And you can hear in that video, I think this actually sounded louder compared to the 50-watt tube amp in the video, and that is with the volume here. However, the biggest issue when using this amplifier is, look at the bass, I had the bass all the way down. And there was still so much bass in the room.
Wow. It's definitely loud, but there's like less clarity. That makes sense.
No, yeah, 100%. Again, if you're going to use a built-in preamp, I would recommend using an EQ in the loop or something like that. Or you can always run your own preamp into the return in the loop if you wanted to do that. Or maybe even like a boost pedal. Now, in my haste, forgot to pack up this guy when I was going out there, so I didn't have a boost pedal. That might have worked. On the Devil pedal, you actually have this girth knob up here. And when you turn the girth knob down, it will actually cut your low end. And then the more you turn it up, the less it filters out your low end. So, you know, you can turn this all the way down and cut your bass. But most overdrive pedals that you could run in front of this thing will probably help you get the low end under control. This one just happens to have that feature. But with both these amplifiers, I was really surprised they were as loud as they were, and they actually like cut through the drums. So hopefully that video helps demonstrate that. All right, shout out to Gear4Music for sending these amplifiers for me to check out for you guys. If you like this video, make sure to hit the like button. If you like what I do here on this channel, consider subscribing or joining these super overpowered folks over here on Patreon, where you can get behind the scenes access. And I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.